warriors, my friends, and my extended family, welcome to another important video on my channel. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of your healing journey, and thank you for joining this growing community. If you want to learn more about any of the #1 anxiety recovery programs available online today, head on over here. And my friends, you may be currently going through the health anxiety healing journey. And more often than not, unconsciously even, we tend to pass on our health concerns to our children and feel an even greater amount of guilt because we've done so. This video is not so much about how you should parent, right? And how you should build your relationship with your child. It's more so allowing me to point out some things that you may be unaware of right now that may be negatively affecting the perceptions of your growing child. So thank you for allowing me to do that. The first thing I want you to understand is that it's one thing to be aware around our children's health. It's another thing to be obsessed with it. Do you, right now, looking at your own ways of parenting, can you see a certain level of obsession with your child's health? If so, you may need to question some of the things that you're doing and some of the ways you're approaching certain environments and unfamiliar experiences when it comes to their life. There's a difference between awareness and obsession. Yes, it's good to be aware. We must be aware in order for us to change something, right? But obsession is a completely different place. Obsession is where you are pretty much a helicopter parent, right? You're basically hovering around their life in every aspect, no matter where they are, what they're doing, who they're with, and not allowing them to engage with life the way they need to, okay? So there's a big difference there. These 5 points will really speak to you. So if you get a chance, grab a pen and paper, write down your greatest epiphanies and clarities from this video, and I promise you it's going to go a long way towards helping your child not be affected by the threats that we have been affected by. Point number 1 is one tragic story doesn't have to be your own. Many years ago, I remember a story where a young toddler in the backyard had drowned in a pool, right? And at the beginning stages of my parenting journey, this unconsciously affected the way I approach my relationship with my child, you know, and an absolute, you know, tragedy in every which way. But this story lived in my unconscious mind and lived in my conscious mind for a very long time. And I said, you know what? I'm going to make sure that this never happens or even comes close to happening for my own child. So I became a helicopter parent, right? And it wasn't until later that I realized, hey, you know, one person's tragedy doesn't have to be my own. One person's experience doesn't have to be my own. And I don't have to live with any guilt because of that. Yes, there's a tremendous amount of compassion there for other people's tragedies and stories. Yes, 100%. But at the same time, we don't have to have the belief that we have to take on the emotional weight that other people are carrying. This is very, very important. In fact, with your own parents, your grandparents, just because they're carrying that emotional baggage doesn't mean that you have to as well. Just because you heard something on the newspaper, just because you heard something on social media, doesn't mean that it has to affect you and your parenting and your own life. Understand this, my friends. This is very, very important, because when we start to create that distance between one person's experience and ours, we can truly come into our unique selves once again, and we can parent in a way that's open-minded and open-hearted. Number 2 point is be reminded of other possibilities and work on attaching feeling to them. Remember, when you get led emotionally, that's nothing more than one perspective, one way of approaching a decision, approaching an environment, approaching anything in your life. Your emotions don't have to lead your life. In fact, if they do, you're basically living by the perceptions of your own inner child. Instinctually, we don't want that. We want to allow our intelligence, which is based on experience over the years, to make decisions for us, number 1, and our intuition, this heart sense that we get when we go, maybe that isn't so much of a threat. Maybe it's safer than I think. Maybe the very thing that I'm afraid of is change, and not so much this particular environment or experience. Could that be true for you? Admit it, because we can't change until we are brutally honest with ourselves. Point number 3 is run mental movies of your healthy children. When you wake up in the morning, run certain mental movies that allow you to tap into that beautiful spark that your child has. And this will allow, energetically and emotionally, allow the child to have the permission from their parent to come into their own unique selves and allow them to make the decision between threat and safety. We don't have to make that decision for them all the time. Intuitively, they'll already know after a period of time whether something is threatening or safe. We don't have to become helicopter parents. So, run mental movies in the morning as you see your child in great health, communicating with the world and other people in ways that you used to be afraid of. Very, very powerful. Prior to going to sleep, run those mental movies again. Allow feeling to be attached to these movies. Allow health in every which way to come in to your child's life. Point number 4 is understand the great price that you are paying for maintaining this worryful habit. Many times we're not even aware of the price that we are paying for allowing worry to become habitual. It's a great price, it really is, right? It takes away, more than anything, it takes away the experiences that you're meant to have in this life experience. It takes away from your child's experience of life, right? It creates heaviness, unnecessary heaviness, emotionally, physically, for you and your child. You are paying a great price by being a helicopter parent, especially towards their own health. Point number 5. I love this point. It's probably the most important one. Allow your children to teach you, even more so than you teach them. Now, if you can reel this in, if you can truly understand this and allow the ego to take a back seat, then you're going to start learning lessons right now in your life, no matter where you are in your life, lessons that you would have never learned from anybody or anything just by being open to this. Allow your children to teach you, Mommy, it's safe for me to go into the playground. Don't worry. And if something happens to me on the playground while you're watching, I'll just get over it anyway. This is kind of the approach that they energetically speak with us. Maybe not verbally yet, right? So understand that we can learn so many lessons from our own children, but we must be open to that learning once and for all, okay? I want to leave you with this. Your children are on their own unique and personal journeys. Don't be the one that gets in the way of their spiritual life experience. Are you getting in the way? Be honest with yourself. Look at some of your habits. Look at the ways that you interpret life. These are important questions, my friends. I hope this video spoke to you. If it did, comment below and give this video a like. Remember that you and your children are more than anxiety. I'll see you in the next video or podcast. Love you all.